Stand by for terminal count.
Overlook Horizon High Altitude Balloons, an Ontario County nonprofit.
This is no ordinary balloon.
What a view!
Over 110,000 feet.
This is incredible.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch.
Hey guys, Tori here from Overlook Horizon, coming to you live for some late night excitement happening today in the space flight and SpaceX and NASA world. It's all our worlds combining here tonight. For finally, we've got the first test flight for the Crew Dragon happening tonight on board a Falcon 9 rocket, a Block 5 Falcon 9, brand new rocket here that's hopefully going to be launching tonight. Lots got to go right in order to get it to launch tonight. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if we saw a slip of some sort, but I'm going to have fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx it or anything like that. We'll knock on this wood table here that's in front of me here because we want to see a launch tonight, finally, of the Crew Dragon. This is awesome. I am so excited. So this will be the vehicle that actually starts taking astronauts from the U.S. To space again. We haven't had that since the shuttle was retired in 2011. Nobody's flying to space from the U.S. And so hopefully SpaceX is trying to be the first private company to do that. Boeing is also competing with them. They want to try to be the first ones. But Boeing has not done a test flight yet. So this is going to be the first test flight today. It's uncrewed. There's nobody in it except for Ripley, our test dummy, or what's the official term for it, is an wow, I'm going to stumble over this all night. Anthropomorphic test device, an ATD, anthropomorphic test device. I think I'm saying that correctly. It's a test dummy. It's the test dummy is Ripley. And we're just going to jump right into it. We are starting a little bit early. Originally, I was going to start at 2:15, and then I was going to start at 2. Now I'm starting at 1:45. We're starting early because SpaceX is going to start their broadcast at 2 o'clock, which is super early. That's like 50 minutes prior to launch. So they're starting super early. I know NASA was going to start their broadcast at around 2 o'clock as well. I'm not sure if NASA and SpaceX, their live streams are one and the same. It's possible they might be the same broadcast, but they might be doing separate webcasts. So anyways, I wanted to start early so that I could jump in, say a few things, then we can listen in, and I don't have to interrupt too much. I might still interrupt a little bit, but I don't have to interrupt too much while it's actually going on. So hello to everybody out there. I see a bunch of people out on YouTube. We got some people joining us on Periscope as well. So hello to everybody. I wasn't sure what to expect for tonight. I'm sure some people with my time was announced a little bit late. Hopefully we'll probably get some more people that jump in a little closer to launch time as well. But let's see. Let me see if I can do this without restarting the intro video, which I've done the last two videos. So there we go. Oh, not to the 30 seconds. So this is going to roll over. It's over an hour. This clock will roll over in just a minute. It'll get down to 59 minutes. It's actually 1 hour. You can't see the 1 hour. It's 1 hour and 16 seconds to launch. So we're coming up, and that's a rough estimate. I don't know if that's exactly. This is just my countdown clock that I put up there to help you figure out when launch is happening, because we do have lots of time here. So in just a second here, this will get a little more accurate. It just doesn't show the hour mark. So there you go. So now it's up to date. So now we're 1 hour to launch. That's the 59 minute mark. And also just keep in mind, this time here is accurate to what I have in front of me. It's synced directly to my clock. You're probably seeing it a few seconds after me with the YouTube delay. So just keep that in mind as well. But anyway, so I started saying hello to everybody. Hello to the hashtag Space Lobster Nation. Good to see everybody here. See a bunch of our regulars hanging out in the YouTube chat as well as in the Periscope chat. It sounds like everybody is excited for this. So everybody's saying hello to everybody. Stop taunting the lobster with your shirts, with the red shirt. There's very few shirt colors I can wear these days. Ever since they switched to the green screen behind me, there's very few shirt colors that I can actually wear that don't chroma key out with the green screen behind me. So let's see. Okay, just got here. What's the status? So we don't exactly know. Status right now is everything is go. We won't get our first big milestone until about T-minus 45 minutes, which is a little bit earlier than usual for a Falcon 9 rocket. And so here, let's jump right into the timeline. We'll take a look at what the timeline is for today's flight, because it is a little bit different than your typical Falcon 9 launch that we've seen before. So before we get into the timeline, we'll look here. We've got our new mission patch here for today. So obviously showing the Crew Dragon and the International Space Station in the distance. That is the destination here. So the Crew Dragon is taking about 400 pounds of supplies up to the International Space Station. In addition to that, there's also some mass simulators. Basically, it's just dead weight that's in there. So mass simulators. We've got the anthropomorphic test dummy. Is that what I said? Is that what it's called? Test device? What is it called? Anthropomorphic test device. There you go. The ATD, the test dummy, named Ripley, that will be flying along. And they even threw in a zero-G, a little zero-G indicator in there as well. We'll take a look at that here in just a minute if you don't know what I'm talking about here. But there's our mission patch here, and what we wanted to look at and dive right into is the timeline for today. So a little bit different here for the timeline. So SpaceX launch director is going to verify that the vehicle and the teams are go for propellant loading at T-minus 45 minutes. That's the big indicator that things are gonna start. Things are gonna really go. They try not to fill the rocket and start putting fuel in unless they're really gonna give it a try here. And so that's the big moment that we look for, is the launch director to give go for propellant loading. So, and then at that point, here's something new. That's about a few minutes later at T-minus 37 minutes, before they actually start fueling the rockets, the launch escape system is armed. And so they will go through this process here today. They will arm the launch escape system at T-minus 37 minutes. And essentially what that means is that if anything were to go wrong with the rocket itself, and all of a sudden it starts exploding on the pad, that will release the capsule, and the capsule will fire its escape motors and basically launch itself, just the capsule, to safety. There was a lot of concern in the media months ago with this, what's called the load and go procedure, which is essentially that it's pretty unusual to be in the process of filling the rocket while the astronauts are on board. Now, there's no astronauts today, but they're kind of simulate this here today. But the astronauts at this point would already be on board the Crew Dragon. And so they would be on board, strapped in an empty rocket, and then they arm the escape system, and then they start fueling. So it's really a pretty safe system, because if anything were to go wrong during the fueling process, the escape system is armed, and it can right out of there just jettison, fire the motors. Probably a little more violent than but you know, you get the idea. You can jettison out and save the astronauts while the pad is disintegrating. Hopefully we never have to see that. Let's see. And okay, so continuing on with the timeline. So then we get a little bit of our typical timeline we see on Falcon 9. So we've got the liquid oxygen and the rocket grade kerosene being loaded into the rocket, the first stage and the second stage. Falcon 9 does the engine chill. Then we've got the Dragon capsule transitioning to internal power. They command the flight computer to begin final pre-launch checks. Propellant tanks are pressurized. Launch director gives the go for launch. Then they command the engine sequence start, and the Falcon 9 lifts off. Then we still have a lot of similar things that we've seen before. We'll hit max Q, we'll have engine cutoff, we'll have separation. The first stage will do a landing today. So in addition to actually launching this Crew Dragon vehicle, we're also going to get a landing here today on the autonomous spaceport drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, which is out in the Atlantic. And so that'll separate, do an entry burn and a landing burn, and then actually land on the drone ship. And then only 11 minutes after launch, the Dragon is going to separate from that second stage, and it will be on its way to the International Space Station. Now, it is going to take, I think it's somewhere around, I think it's like 27 hours to actually rendezvous with the space station, and it won't be docking until, if it launches on tonight, it'll be docking tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. So it's a little more than 24 hours, and they'll likely broadcast that as well. I'm not sure if I'll broadcast that, but they will likely broadcast or at least have some sort of press conference. I imagine they'll broadcast the actual docking. So that's what we're looking at here today, and it looks like the broadcast has fired up for SpaceX, and it's giving us the NASA slate here. So it looks like the NASA TV and SpaceX webcasts are going to be one and the same, which makes sense because we have an integrated flight crew today. So the flight crew that's launching, or I should say ground crew, that is launching the rocket here today is an integrated crew, which means that it's SpaceX employees and NASA employees all in NASA's Launch Control Center, Firing Room 4, which is where they launched historic Apollo missions from, and they will be in Firing Room 4 launching this rocket together, SpaceX and NASA, because that's generally how they're going to actually do the crewed missions, because you got NASA astronauts on a SpaceX vehicle. So integrated team today, and so it makes sense that you've also got kind of an integrated web broadcast here. So NASA and SpaceX collaborating on that as well, and we'll definitely jump into that broadcast, and we'll have it up as well so we can hear what's happening. So anyway, now I've got the timeline up here. Let's get rid of the timeline so we can actually see the inside of the Crew Dragon. This is an actual photo from inside the Crew Dragon while it is vertical on pad 39A. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is the new modern look to space travel here. Looks like there's a ton of room in there. It doesn't feel super cramped like you imagine back to the Gemini program and the Mercury program and even the Apollo program. Like, you were packed in those capsules. There's tons of room here. This is fantastic. And so that's our anthropomorphic test device, our test dummy named Ripley. The name Ripley essentially is a tip of the hat or a nod to the movie Alien. It's Sigourney Weaver's character, whose name is Ellen Ripley. I think that's right, Ellen Ripley, and so they named the anthropomorphic test device Ripley. And so this is it's not Star Man but Star Woman that's flying up on the Crew Dragon here today. So tons of room, and in addition to that, Elon also posted out this updated photo here. So we'll switch over real quick. Ready? Oh, bam! Looks almost the same, but now you have this zero-G indicator, which is essentially just a stuffed plush toy. So it's not attached to anything. It's just setting on the seat here, and it'll be pushed back into the seat during launch, and then when it hits zero G, it'll kind of just float around and bounce all over the place, and that's kind of. But it's not really an animal. It's like a picture of, or it's like the Earth with arms and feet. There's a term for that is escaping me that I was trying to come up with on the spot here. So anyways, a little bit of fun there. We'll hopefully get to see that, because we will have photos or video and live shots from inside the Crew Dragon today during this here. So yeah, and anyways, let me jump over and see what everybody's here saying, because I've been going on forever, and I do want to get to your comments, because I do see them all flying by. Ripley going up to fight off the space lobster, says Chusicon. I love it. Killer Katie, I think, is down in Cape Canaveral, and maybe in Titusville, I think I saw, which is across the river. Killer Katie says across the river in Cape, not Titusville. Let's see what else people are saying. 30 hours they said in the press conference. So 30 hours to rendezvous is what Howell Shane 31 on YouTube says. It'll take 30 hours to rendezvous. So And somebody else, I just jumped around. Somebody else said, I hope they work well together. Oh, Catherine says, I hope they all work well together. I'm sure they will. Oh, hey, they're switching over. All right, they're going to go live here now. I said I had a whole bunch more stuff to show. If we get a little bit of a lull, I will come back to my stuff, but we'll switch over and listen into what they have to say here now as SpaceX starts to go live. Where's my button to switch over? There it is. All right. Oh, I'm just kind of floating in the middle of nowhere here now. So, 15 seconds. A lot of testing has gone into this. Here, I'm going to get myself so I'm not floating in the middle of the screen here.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I am so excited for this. NASA and SpaceX together.
You are looking at a live view of SpaceX's first Crew Dragon spacecraft atop a Falcon 9 rocket awaiting liftoff in just under an hour from now as part of the first crew demonstration mission to the International Space Station for NASA. Good evening and good morning and welcome to the live broadcast of NASA and SpaceX's first crew demo mission to the space station.
Let's turn this up.
My name's Dan Hewitt. I'm a public affairs officer with NASA, and I'm really excited to be here at SpaceX's headquarters in Hawthorne, California for today's launch.
Dan, it is so awesome to have you here.
It's awesome to be here.
Thank you for coming. My name is Lauren Lyons, and I'm a senior flight reliability engineer here at SpaceX. And as you can see, NASA and SpaceX have partnered on both the Demo 1 mission and today's broadcast. We'll be bringing you live coverage from not only here at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, but also NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, as well as the Johnson Space Center in Houston.
As many of you probably already know, the purpose of today's mission is to demonstrate the ability of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket and the Crew Dragon vehicle to carry people safely to and from the International Space Station. Today's mission is a test flight. While there are no actual humans on board, we're going to be executing every step of this mission as if there were.
It's worth noting that for purposes of this broadcast, we will be using the terms Crew Dragon and Dragon interchangeably to refer to this next iteration of our spacecraft. The Dragon we fly for our CRS missions has already made 16 visits to the International Space Station, but this is the first time that Crew Dragon is making that journey.
From start to finish, this mission will last approximately 6 days, and it's going to start with liftoff just under an hour from now. Once Falcon 9 has lifted Dragon into orbit, the spacecraft will make its way to the space station over a period of approximately 27 hours. This time period's a little bit longer than what we anticipate once people are actually on board, but for this mission, it allows ample time to conduct all the necessary testing and demos prior to SpaceX's first docking of Crew Dragon with the space station.
Once Dragon arrives at station, it's expected to stay for about 5 days, during which time it'll undergo a series of checkouts of many of the new systems, as well as the ISS interfaces. While it's docked, it'll deliver some cargo to space station that we've launched, but it will also bring some cargo back that the crew will pack up in Dragon on the way back home. At the end of that 5-day dock period, Dragon will depart the ISS for a splashdown in the Atlantic Ocean, where it'll be met by recovery crews and transported back to our site at Cape Canaveral.
And for everybody watching and following along at home, if you have a question about this mission or any of the upcoming crewed missions, we'd love to answer them later in this broadcast. You can send them in using the hashtag AskNASA on Twitter.
This is such an awesome and exciting day for the teams both at NASA and SpaceX. And with just under an hour to liftoff, let's check in with the team over in Florida, broadcasting live from Kennedy Space Center.
Coming up on a big milestone for
now, my name is Shiva
Gopher
Bharadwaj,
propellant
and I'm
loading.
a Falcon Integration and Test Engineer at SpaceX.
And I'm Stephanie Martin with NASA's Commercial Crew Program. We are broadcasting live from the press site here at Kennedy.
Yeah, we're actually just across the street from the iconic Vehicle Assembly Building and just over 3 miles away from our launch site. Now, there are hundreds of members of the media at Cape Kennedy to capture today's historic launch from the equally historic Launch Complex 39A, or LC-39A, which has been a central part of the American human spaceflight story. This is the home to both the Apollo and Space Shuttle programs.
Just behind us, you can see the Falcon 9 and Dragon prepared to launch from this historic launch pad. SpaceX took over Launch Complex 39A in 2014, and after retrofitting it, they have been able to support both Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launches regularly since 2017.
Yeah, actually, there's a great shot on your screen of our two-stage launch vehicle, the Falcon 9. And actually, the crew arm is attached to it. Oh, actually, there the crew arm is separating away from the vehicle. And this test is, we're running this test the same way that we would with astronauts on board. So that would be one of the steps as we prepare to go into today's launch. Now, Falcon 9 is Falcon 9's first stage will fire its 9 Merlin engines to propel the vehicle to the edge of space. Once it's burned through most of its propellant, it will separate and attempt to land on our drone ship, which is about 316 miles off the Florida coast. Simultaneously, the second stage will fire its single high-efficiency Merlin vacuum engine to propel Dragon to its target orbit about 200 kilometers above the Earth. From there, Dragon will continue with its first journey to the International Space Station.
Now, Crew Dragon consists of 2 main structures. The capsule, where we fly pressurized cargo, and soon our astronauts, who cannot be exposed to the vacuum of space. And the second main structure is the trunk, where we can carry large, unpressurized cargo. A notable difference on the Crew Dragon vehicle is that it's 8 Super Draco thrusters. These Super Dracos will power the astronauts to safety in the unlikely event of an emergency.
Crew Dragon's trunk also features new body-mounted solar arrays, which you can see on your screen right now. They provide power to the spacecraft as it makes its way to the International Space Station. The trunk also has new aerodynamic fins, which provide stability in the event of that emergency abort, as well as more surface area for those solar arrays.
Now, that was a quick overview of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon here at Kennedy Space Center. However, let's go quickly over to Daryl Nail, who has a special guest at the Operations and Support Building.
That's right, Stephanie. I'm on the 5th floor of that building, which gives us an elevated view of the launch pad. And we can see the rocket from top to bottom, including the flame trench. It is a beautiful view out here. And then we stretch out a little further, and you can see the guests that have gathered in the infield. They have quite a view as well. This building is also right next to the iconic Vehicle Assembly Building, which is the perfect backdrop for our guest, as you mentioned, Administrator Jim Bridenstine. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Daryl. Great to be here.
First of all, tell me what this launch means to you. What does it mean to the country?
So this is the first time we're going to launch American astronauts on American rockets from American soil, the first time since the retirement of the space shuttles in 2011. So this is really a significant achievement in the history of American spaceflight. And what we're interested in, we want to make sure that we keep our partnership with Russia, which has been very strong for a long period of time, going all the way back to the Apollo-Soyuz era. But we also want to make sure we have our own capability to get back and forth to the International Space Station so that we can have this strong partnership where they can launch on our rockets and we can launch on their rockets. But I think another big milestone here is the idea that we're not, as an agency, as NASA, we're not purchasing, owning, and operating our own rockets at this point. We're looking to a future where we can be a customer, one customer of many customers in a very robust commercial marketplace in low Earth orbit. And not just one customer of many customers, which drives down our costs and increases our access, but having multiple providers that are competing on cost and innovation, which enables us to have transformational technologies that enable us to do more than ever before. So this is really a big deal.
And one of those customers, key customers, SpaceX, which is launching tonight. You're here for that launch. You got to tour around today with SpaceX CEO Elon Musk. How was that?
It was a great opportunity. He reminded me that he began this process 18 years ago, if you can imagine that, back in 2001. And at the time, you know, the intent was to put a little greenhouse on Mars, and he was going to, purchase an excess ICBM from Russia. Of course, he made sure to make clear that it was without the nuclear warhead. But what was fascinating is from that idea where he wanted to put on Mars a little greenhouse. We're talking about 3 feet by 3 feet, just a small greenhouse. And from that, he tried to buy this excess ICBM, but it was $20 million. And he said, look, I just can't afford that to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. And so he came up with the idea of a Falcon 1. And after a number of failed launches, he stuck with it. And by Falcon 4, it was successful. And then, of course, the partnership with NASA and a long partnership that's been developing for a long time. And here we are on the precipice of returning to spaceflight from American soil. So it was great to have that opportunity to hear his perspectives and This is really a big day for NASA. It's a big day for SpaceX, Elon Musk, and the entire team, both teams, NASA and SpaceX.
And we're looking forward to a launch tonight. We appreciate you coming out and joining us. It's going to be an exciting night. We want to toss it back now to Tom, who is at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Tom?
Thanks, Daryl. Good evening. My name is Tom Perderio, and I'm a software engineer here at SpaceX. And hanging right behind me at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, is the very first Dragon spacecraft that SpaceX launched to orbit back in 2010. And now here we are, just less than 40 minutes from launching our first Crew Dragon spacecraft to the space station. It's currently T-minus 38 minutes and 40 seconds, and the SpaceX team is working no issues for launch. Here's where we stand on the rocket, the spacecraft, and the launch. For the Falcon 9, the critical go, no-go poll was held at about T-minus 45 minutes when the SpaceX launch director polled the teams to assess their readiness for launch. All teams are currently go for launch, and we are ready to begin propellant loading on the rocket at about T-minus 35 minutes. In fact, you may hear final instructions for the team in the background on the launch nets. For the Dragon spacecraft, earlier today, Dragon operators performed a series of checkouts across all of Dragon's flight systems, and the capsule is also currently go for launch. If this were an operational mission, late load cargo would have already been loaded onto Dragon the day of launch, which would have been earlier today, and the crew would already have boarded via the crew access arm. Once everyone is safely on board, SpaceX would retract, or you saw SpaceX just retract the crew access arm, which activates the launch escape system, and this allows the initiation of a pad escape in the event of an emergency.
So that's armed. Launch escape is armed now.
Supporting us for a launch today. No issues with that. With weather, there are three main categories of weather things that the SpaceX and the range looks for. One of those is upper level winds. The other is ground level winds. And the other is the anvil, cloud, and lightning rules. Right now, there's no weather constraints for launch today. So as the team has mentioned, there are no people on board Dragon today, but we do actually have one special passenger flying, and her name is Ripley. You can actually see her sitting there in the live views we have from Dragon, getting ready for launch. Ripley will be gathering some very important data for us in advance of our first crew missions. And she's also taking up a zero-gravity indicator in the shape of the Earth, which you can see the blue Earth figure right next to her in the seat closest to the camera. Once we are clear of the Earth's gravity, that zero-G indicator will be free to move about the cabin. Let's take a closer look at Ripley's role and on her trip to the International Space Station.
A lot of sensors on Ripley.
As
Ripley's
a part
got
of our demonstration
sensors everywhere.
we have a special passenger on board. The technical term for a special passenger is an anthropomorphic test device, or in short, an ATD. But we're just going to call her Ripley. My name is Ali Reza Farjud, and I'm a senior dynamics engineer here at SpaceX. Ripley's job is to feel everything that an astronaut will feel when they fly on Dragon. She is essentially full of sensors across her body, including the head, neck, and spine. For this mission, Ripley is going to use 10 out of her 30 sensors to give us all the information we need about the most sensitive parts of her body. She is going to give us information about her body loads and the seat loads, and we're going to use all that information to analyze and make sure our predictions are correct, to design, test, and understand exact behavior of the seat system in Crew Dragon. From liftoff to splashdown, essentially she is going to tell us how she feels during the whole mission. We also have a microphone around her ears, so we're going to hear whatever she hears.
That's kind
the
of
goal
cool.
of this mission is to make sure that the crew are going to be safe, comfortable, and enjoy the ride on Dragon. During a nominal ascent, the crew will feel like they're riding on an exciting roller coaster ride. On the way back, during a nominal splashdown, the crew will feel like they are diving into a swimming pool. Interestingly, this is not the first time we're using this technology to make sure that the crew are going to be safe. The first time was in 2015 on the paddleboard test. In addition to these tests, we're doing a lot more testing to make sure all the worst case scenarios are understood, the crew are going to be safe, and all our injury metrics are within limits. We're going to be using this technology again in the future. In fact, Ripley is going to be flying in our in-flight abort test later this year. We're not going to be getting real-time data for this mission. Once Ripley comes back home, she is going to give us all the data, and that's going to get us one step closer to human spaceflight for everyone.
So no real-time data from Ripley. Gotta collect Ripley afterwards for the data.
34 minutes and 38 seconds. The call for propellant load is coming up in just a few moments here, so let's listen in for that call out on the nets.
A couple people on Periscope asking if this is live. Chi-Town Lady 123, is this live? This is live. This is happening tonight. This is exciting. This is super exciting. Ripley's on board, ready to take flight as the first anthropomorphic test device on a SpaceX Crew Dragon. The launch escape system is armed so that capsule can escape in the unlikely event of some
For those
sort
of
of
you just
pad
joining
accident.
us, we are just waiting for the call out for beginning propellant load on the Falcon 9 rocket. We have not heard that call out yet, but it is coming up in just a few minutes. Stand by.
Yeah, and so that propellant loading is generally supposed to start at about T-minus 35 minutes. And
So while we're waiting for the call out for that prop load, we're going to go over to McManus Wood End at Banana Creek to get a sense of how the feeling is at the Cape. How's it going over there, McManus?
Everything is looking great out here, Tom, and we wish Ripley all the best of luck on her incredible, incredible journey. I'm McManus Wood End, and I'm here at Kennedy Space Center. Particularly, I am here at the Banana Creek viewing area, which is right across the way from the Saturn V Center. Now, one of the great things about this viewing area here at Banana Creek is you have an unfiltered panoramic view of 5 launch pads. Now, the pad that we'll be looking at tonight will be pad 39A, which you've already heard so far in the program has quite a historical significance. 12 Apollo launches and 82 shuttle launches took place at pad 39A, and we're hoping that SpaceX is able to continue that history tonight. Now, if you look at the crowd, they're starting to still filter in, but we're looking at roughly 1,700 in attendance tonight. The vast majority of them are from here in America, so the sentiment of an American-built rocket being launched from American soil, and with the anticipation of American astronauts later this year being flown on that rocket is pretty high. But that's not to say that it's a complete home team type of a game. We do have quite a few representatives from other foreign countries that bring a unique perspective to this launch because they look at it from a global perspective. So just imagine, if you will, somebody in this audience tonight has the ability at some point in time in their lives to board a rocket, fly to space, and then look down at the Earth instead of through the lens of a NASA photo, which we've all become so accustomed to, but with their very own eyes. So with that in mind, those two are the main talking points that I've had with many of the folks here in the audience. So as you can imagine, the anticipation and the energy is quite strong. But as you can see, everyone is starting to settle into their seats and they're getting ready to enjoy this amazing launch. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and send it back to Shiva and Stephanie right down the road at our studio. Guys?
Thanks, McManus. That's an awesome crowd out there. Now, we do want to let you guys know that propellant loading has begun on the Falcon 9.
All right,
now,
good.
Also,
It's good
as
news.
a reminder, today's launch is a test flight, and while SpaceX has been transporting cargo to and from the International Space Station since 2012, this flight is the first time that we'll be launching a Crew Dragon with the upgrades to Falcon 9 and Dragon that will allow us to fly astronauts.
Now, we haven't launched astronauts from the U.S. soil to the International Space Station since the Space Shuttle Atlantis landed in 2011. Today's launch is a major test to help us restore that capability to America, with the idea that one day space travel won't just be for NASA astronauts.
Stage 2, present for flight.
Ground gas closeouts are complete.
Go for launch.
The purpose of the Commercial Crew Program is to return to our nation the capability to fly our astronauts to the International Space Station.
5, 4, 3,
This Commercial Crew Program is the beginning, I think, of an entirely new era.
1.
Liftoff. Astronauts taking flight once more from American soil as the nation begins a new chapter of space exploration.
Up until now, it's been governments that have sent people into space. And, working with our NASA partners, we are on the doorstep of being able to open it up to a much greater population.
It's not often that you get to be part of developing a spacecraft from scratch. That opportunity comes along after many decades.
Both of our companies, Boeing and SpaceX, are incredibly capable companies.
It's just an awesome feeling to see the hardware coming together and seeing, the excitement of the technicians, of the engineers.
it's going to be wonderful to see the crowds come back. This is great, to get the public kind of re-engaged on human spaceflight again.
Transportation to low Earth orbit is super important to humans because right now that's where we are operating and doing a lot of our work in space. The International Space Station, one of the nation's great assets for research and discovery, is in low Earth orbit. And the Commercial Crew Program will be providing transportation to ISS to support that first step as a gateway to space.
I think we're going to have a lot more opportunity to do the exploration research that we need to get us to the moon and to Mars and beyond.
There's a larger group of us that are dreaming that potentially could have a ride someday and be working in space.
It's a huge goal, a huge accomplishment for both the partners, NASA and the United States of America.
This is just the beginning.
I know the greatest events in space exploration have not happened yet, and that our destiny lies above us.
Unlike traditional NASA programs where we gave very prescriptive requirements, for Commercial Crew, NASA set high-level requirements based on our 50 years of human spaceflight experience for Boeing and SpaceX to meet. Our partners took those high-level requirements and introduced new technologies, procedures, and the out-of-the-box thinking that we have come to expect for the American aerospace industry.
Now, SpaceX is one of the companies that NASA ultimately chose to achieve this goal, and we've been able to introduce innovative ideas in collaboration with NASA, and together we've designed Crew Dragon to be one of the safest human spaceflight systems ever flown. Dragon and Falcon 9 together have years of operational experience, or what we refer to as flight heritage. The Crew Dragon builds on our Cargo Dragon's 17 successful flights to and from orbit since 2010, including 16 trips to the International Space Station. Not only have we conducted thousands of hours of testing, we've also enhanced and added a number of safety features. As an example, Dragon now has enhanced and additional parachutes. We used to have 3, and we added a 4th one for redundancy. And one of the most important safety features on Crew Dragon is our launch escape system, which is a huge advancement in the safety of human spaceflight. In 2015, we demonstrated the system during our pad abort test. Now, the launch escape system is outfitted with 8 Super Draco engines that are directly integrated into the spacecraft body. This enables Crew Dragon to maintain escape capability from the launch pad all the way to orbit, a feature that no other spacecraft in history has ever possessed.
Now, following the success of this mission, but before Demo 2, SpaceX will conduct an in-flight abort test, which will prove Dragon's escape capabilities during ascent. This test will tell us not only how Dragon will perform, but what the astronauts will actually experience if there were an actual emergency. After these tests, the NASA and SpaceX team will review all the data and verify that all of the systems aboard have operated as designed. This extremely important step allows NASA to verify that SpaceX is meeting our requirements and can be certified to carry our astronauts safely to and from the space station. The first 2 crew members who will fly aboard Crew Dragon will be NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley on board that Demo 2 flight test. Then, NASA astronauts Mike Hopkins and Victor Glover will fly aboard the next Crew Dragon mission with 2 international partner crew members who've not yet been announced.
Yeah, and these NASA astronauts will not only be the first to fly on Crew Dragon, but they're also continuing the mission of the International Space Station, which is our premier orbital laboratory.
All right, so I know these guys are talking, and I try not to interrupt too much, and I don't want to interrupt and talk over everybody too much, but I've been sitting here watching patiently, waiting for maybe a break in there so we could chat a little bit, because I see people's comments flying by. Some of them are making me chuckle without even nobody knows what I'm laughing at over here. But I did want to at least acknowledge some of the comments. I know they're chatting it up here, and we can get back into those, and it's tough. You gotta walk a fine line whether you interrupt the broadcast and talk myself, or if I just let them talk and we listen in. But yeah, a couple people want to know if it's live. It's definitely live. Some interesting tidbits that they threw out there, that Ripley, I knew Ripley had a whole bunch of sensors. I did not know that Ripley's sensors were not going to be transmitted live. That's kind of, that's a little bit interesting. But and I saw a couple of other comments here from people. Let me see. Let me scroll back here for some things. Trippin' Fool said, Tori, wasn't there some things you wanted to tell us? As I was just sitting there like a kid at Christmas, according to Alex Ziggyful. And a bunch of people talking about, can you actually go to a rocket launch? You can definitely go to a rocket launch. You can buy tickets from the Kennedy Space Center. You can watch them from the Apollo Center. You can watch them from across the river at Titusville. You can watch launches from Playa Linda Beach. You can watch launches from Jetty Park. A lot of those are public. You can buy the tickets that Kennedy Space Center sells to go actually watch them from Kennedy Space Center, the Apollo Center, or from the NASA Causeway, which is where I watched the test mission from, was on the NASA Causeway. So yeah, definitely a lot of options. Or you can also just pull over on the side of the road somewhere, and you'll see it. I mean, people see it for miles and miles and miles. So let's see. So much going on now. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot happening here. We're down to T-minus 23 minutes, and I will switch back and listen into some of them again in just a few minutes here. But just to give you an update here on the timeline, it's a pretty quiet time in the timeline. I mean, the rocket is essentially being fueled right now. The astronauts would be on board at this moment. So they would be on board and ready to go and just kind of hanging out, waiting for the rocket to fuel and waiting for things to count down. And the next really big thing that we're going to see is not until T-minus 5 minutes when the Dragon transitions to internal power. That's kind of the next big event. But they'll be certainly watching the sensors for the entire vehicle leading up to that. Somebody also asked if they were going to do this at Vandenberg. There is no crew capsule capability at Vandenberg for SpaceX. So SpaceX can only launch the Crew Dragon from Pad 39A on Cape Canaveral. So can't do a Vandenberg launch for that. So a couple, they're still talking about some of the mission here, some of which they've already covered a little bit, but it's a 6-day mission. Oh, there's Firing Room 4. Let's listen. I want to hear what they have to say about Firing Room 4.
Just about 22 minutes. The ground operations teams are going to be doing a series of system checks just to make sure both Dragon and Falcon 9 are ready for liftoff. The moment we hit T-minus 0 and a successful launch occurs, we'll watch Falcon 9 and Dragon make their ascent until Falcon 9 first and second stages separate and send Dragon on its way to the space station.
At this time, mission operators will prepare Dragon for on-orbit ops, and Dragon will execute a series of burns that gradually raise its orbit to align more closely with the space station, as you can see in this animation right here on the screen. As Dragon approaches ISS, it'll hold a few times before making one final push towards the space station, putting Dragon into the same orbital plane as it prepares for its approach and docking maneuvers.
And then next, Dragon will make its approach and actually dock with the space station. This is going to be a very different process from what we've seen with Dragon cargo deliveries in the past, which use a process called berthing, which requires somebody to be on the station to reach out and grab Dragon with the robotic arm. With docking not necessary, it's going to fly in all on its own.
And docking is done autonomously for the Crew Dragon, completely autonomously. It can be done by humans, but it's generally going to be done autonomously unless something goes wrong.
The ISS crew on board will close out the cabin, perform final system checks, and configure the vehicle for undocking. Once the automated undocking sequence is complete, Dragon will execute 2 departure burns using its onboard Draco engines, pushing it away from the space station.
And then next on its trip home is deorbit, entry, and splashdown, and that's going to cover all operations following the final departure maneuver, including the trunk separation.
All right, so I'm gonna turn this down again just because you got the cafeteria in the background. This sounds really loud. It's really kind of difficult to hear what they're saying, at least in my earpiece. Maybe it's just my earpiece, but it's essentially a 6-day mission. Tomorrow it will dock autonomously with the space station, assuming everything goes according to plan. Dock with the space station. It'll be docked there for 5 days. Then it will separate, do a deorbit burn, and land within a couple of hours. I'm just listening to see what they have to say. Yeah, so what they're chatting about now is just the astronauts that are going to be on board, and essentially they're going to be treating this even though it's Ripley, that's an anthropomorphic test device. I just like saying that word. Even though it's just a test dummy, the anthropomorphic. What is it again? Anthropomorphic. Man, I had it. I said it well so many times. Anthropomorphic. Wow, it's getting late. I can't say it. I was doing well with that. But anyways, this is a test dummy. Even though it's a test dummy, they're going to treat the whole thing like the astronauts are on board. So they're going to be looking at environmental controls and making sure that those are up to par and that those are handling. They're going to be looking at G-force loads, acceleration, vibrations, sounds inside the rocket. It's kind of cool that Ripley, the test dummy, has a microphone on board so they can actually hear what Ripley is going to hear. So there's a lot that they're testing, a lot that's got to go right. And, even if there's little things that they may need to tweak afterwards, that's not a huge issue. I mean, you would expect that when you run this test flight that there may be things that they might have to look at and tweak afterwards. We've got some time until the actual crewed flights, which will be later this year. As long as nothing disastrous happens or something major, then we should still be on track, because you got this flight that'll be a test flight. There is another test flight, which is the in-flight abort test. That'll give them the opportunity to still test early flight conditions, G-forces, vibrations, all that kind of stuff. Ripley will again fly on the in-flight abort test, so they'll have another opportunity there to do that as well. And then after that, then they go to crewed missions, which will be later in 2019, hopefully. So somebody asked why the name Ripley. So Ripley is Ripley is kind of a tip of the hat to the Alien movie. The Sigourney Weaver character in Alien was Ellen Ripley. And so Ripley, the anthropomorphic test device. Hey, see, I got it. I just have to say it fast. Anthropomorphic test device. Woo! Got it. All right. So the test dummy is named after Sigourney Weaver's character, Ripley, in the movie Alien. And I would also like to mention, just before I forget, that we are going to do some giveaways. If we get a successful launch today, we're going to do some giveaways after launch. So only 11 minutes until separation, and then we'll do giveaways right after separation if we get a successful launch today. So we'll do a couple of those. So stick around after launch. We'll do some giveaways as well. If you want to win some free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff, right? And yes, Soul Rescue says, I hope Ripley does not bring back an alien like the one from the movie. I hope so as well. Over on the Facebook page, a couple of people. Gino is going to the beach to watch. That is awesome. I'm super jealous. I am not down there. I would love to be down there, but I decided not to go down there for this one. But maybe heading down sometime in the future to see another one. We'll see. We'll see how my schedule pans out. But scheduling wise, this was not a good time to go down for me, unfortunately. I would have loved to gone though. So where's the emergency override controls? Yeah, everything. The crazy thing is, we'll come back to the live video here in just a second. But while they're chatting here, I mean, let's look at some. Let's see, where do I have one on my screen? There we go. So this was one of the things I was going to show before the video started. But while they're chatting it up there, we'll look at our own stuff. Inside, it's the astronauts say it's like flying an iPad, which is kind of crazy to think about. But it is basically all touch screens. This whole like glass cockpit kind of thing. So it's all touch screens. There are some physical buttons, which are, let's see, can I point to them? They're like here, this bar here. There are some physical buttons there. Can't do this in the screen. So this little bar here, there are physical buttons there, but most of the stuff is all controlled on the touch screens up here, which are supposedly very responsive, easy to use with gloves on, all that kind of stuff. And this is Sunita Williams, or Sunny Williams, that's in the SpaceX suit and all set and doing some training in it. So yeah, that's it is definitely a very, very modern looking rocket and very modern looking capsule here for the astronauts. Let's see. Everyone take a drink when Tori says anthropomorphic correctly. Hey, oh, there you go. I got it. See, now I can play games with it because if I can just, I have to say it fast. If I say it fast, I think I'm good. If I try to sound it out, my tongue gets in the way. Something happens. My brain can't communicate it to my mouth and say anthropomorphic. I gotta go fast. All right. Let's see. What is the name of the stuffed animal on board? I don't think they gave a name for the stuffed animal on board. So the stuffed animal that they're referring to, I don't even know if I'd call it a stuffed animal. I'm not sure what to call it. It's a 0G indicator, but it's this little guy right here, which is essentially a stuffed toy of some sort. I mean, it's kind of an animal. It's the Earth with arms and legs sticking out of it, but essentially it's just a plush toy, and it's not strapped in of any sort, so it'll be pushed into the seat during launch, and then when the engine's cut off, the second stage cuts off, and it's in 0G, it'll just kind of float around, and it's very plush and not going to do any damage, so it'll just bounce around and do its thing. But that's the idea. It's just supposed to float, and then when we're looking at the live views on camera, we'll know the moment that it's in 0G. So there we go. Alex Ziggyfuls says going to be drunk from the anthropomorphic drinking game. It's a Kirby, isn't it? It kind of looks like a Kirby, I guess. Blue Earth lobster, a distant cousin of our space lobster. Craig is calling the capsule an atmospheric iPad. I like that. The suit is too different. Let's see. The suit is definitely very modern looking. I mean, you got the two suits. The Boeing one, the blue suit from Boeing, looks a lot more like traditional astronaut suit. I mean, it's definitely modernized, but looks much more astronaut-y, if that's a thing. But the SpaceX one, to me, looks very sleek. And very modern. I do love the SpaceX suit there. And what else? So they're talking about we've got the video up there. You can certainly check out the SpaceX video if you don't want to listen to me talk. But I'm going to chat it up a little bit. So we get a little bit closer to the countdown here because they're kind of going over things that they've already talked about here. So somebody asked why there's no HD camera mounted on the exterior of the capsule. So, I mean, I think it's mostly just an aerodynamic thing with the exterior of the capsule. There are exterior cameras. The Falcon 9 will have an exterior camera. And I do believe that there may be exterior cameras in the trunk of the capsule. I don't know if there's any exterior cameras on the capsule itself. There could be. We don't know. We haven't seen it fly yet. So we don't know what kind of views SpaceX has built into this yet. So we'll find out. I don't think they have an exterior camera on the capsule itself, but we'll find out. We should see all sorts of live views here today. I'm going to jump over. I'm going to put the video back on because they're showing some cool footage of the astronauts in the capsule here interacting with the panel. So that panel that you're seeing there, that's right directly in front of the astronauts, I believe, from what I've seen, I've never seen it in person, but the clips and stuff that I've seen, I believe that panel actually retracts back and kind of comes in and out so they can push it out of the way and free up some space and then pull it close when they're doing maneuvers and things like that. So a lot of stuff that's been thought about by the SpaceX design engineers as far as just trying to get some room in there and trying to get, I mean, these astronauts are going to be in this capsule for, at least a couple of hours, and if something goes wrong, it could be a couple of days if they're unable to dock with a space station and they got to come back for some reason. So they want to make it comfortable. Will they show a feed from inside the capsule? Yes, Elon did say that they will show. They do have a live camera. They've shown it a couple times. It's essentially, the live camera is essentially that view that we were looking at a second ago with the anthropomorphic test device and our little zero-G thing, stuffed Earth thing. That's a lie. The one I showed you was a picture, but that's camera is their live camera that they'll have in there. So, let's see. Bill Hurley says the seats move, not the panel. Okay, maybe that's what I've seen then. All right, thanks for the clarification there, Bill. Will the SRBs land back on Earth, or is this a different type of launch? No, this is a different type of launch. There are no SRBs, no solid rocket. The Falcon 9 is a liquid-fueled rocket, so there's no solid rockets on here. However, the first stage will... sorry, I was listening into the broadcast to see if there's anything we had to touch on, but the first stage will make a landing on the autonomous spaceport drone ship. Of course, I Still Love You out in the Atlantic Ocean. I was going to show, we're kind of doing this over the top of the SpaceX broadcast, but I got some stuff that we can show and at least take a look at. So while Tom is talking here on the SpaceX broadcast, we'll try to switch back over to that in just a couple minutes.
The weather is
this just gives you, this is going to give you an idea of what the launch pad is for today. So it's obviously, it's an instantaneous launch window. It's trying to time this launch with the space station that's going to be flying overhead. So it's heading out of pad 39A. Historic pad 39A.
Hey,
that's the
Tom,
big,
welcome to
gigantic
Mission
launch
Control
pad.
Houston. Right here,
One
the
of
teams
two
behind me
gigantic
are
launch
looking
pads,
after the
39A and
systems of the
39B,
International Space Station,
on
which
Cape
is, of
Canaveral,
course, the
Florida, at the
ultimate
Kennedy
destination
Space
of
Center.
Dragon launch
So it's going to
and
head
delivery.
out here. These green
Over the
areas
next,
and
day,
yellow
we'll
and
be
red, these are
monitoring
hazard
Dragon
areas.
through
That's
its
where
approach to
like
the
boats and
International
planes
Space
are not
Station.
allowed to go
And that's
in.
when things will
So
really
those are the
start to
published
pick up. It's
hazards
just a
where
few
they've said,
kilometers away.
don't go
3
here.
crew members
We're
on board the
launching a
International
rocket
Space
through this
Station right
space.
now. NASA's Anne McClain, David St.
So
Chuck
it'll
of
be
the
launching
Canadian
this
Space
direction. This
Agency,
blue pin
and
here,
Oleg
this is where the
Kononenko
autonomous
of
spaceport
Roscosmos.
drone ship
Really, over the
is
past week,
positioned.
they've
Of
been
course, I
reviewing a
Still
lot of
Love You is the
procedures
name of
for
that
the
ship,
docking
and that will be
operation,
catching
and
the
the
landing first
ingress
stage of the
operation. That's when
Falcon
they actually
9.
enter the vehicle.
And then also of
Today,
note,
they don't
there
really
were a
have
couple
much
of
going
other
on, a bit of
hazards
an off-duty
published,
day,
which
because
that nobody
tomorrow,
really
that's when
specified
they
exactly what
execute
they
all of these
were. But there's
procedures,
this other
just
hazard
over a day
way up
from
here
now
by
when
Newfoundland,
Dragon docks to the
and
International Space Station
there's another
scheduled at
hazard
6
over
a.m.
here by
Eastern
off the coast of Ireland
This is a great
that
time, a blast from the
they
past.
published
Last
as
time
well.
that a
Speculation
vehicle docked to this
that
part of
those
the
might
station
be
was the Space
abort
Shuttle back in
profile
2011.
landing areas.
Again, our job
potentially.
really picks up when Dragon
Not
is just a few
100% sure
kilometers
there,
away
but
from now.
it would make sense.
Everything's
That would
looking
be
good on the station. Station now
approximately
255
a
statute miles
flight
over
path there. So
Central
those could
Europe.
be
At the
abort
time of launch,
hazards
the station is
there
scheduled
for
to be
where
over
it
Central
could
Iraq. That's
land
how
in an
fast this
abort
thing
profile.
is traveling.
And then also down here in the Indian Ocean. So essentially, can you see
But this is
my
an
mouse is
exciting
up there? Yeah.
time.
So essentially, the flight
We
path
have
is going to
new
come up here
vehicles
like
coming
this,
online to
and
launch
then it's going
humans
to come
to the
down here
International
like
Space
this. And
Station.
this is where the
More
second
humans
stage
means more
will
science,
re-enter the
which is
atmosphere,
one of the
burn up a
goals of
little
the
bit,
International
and
Space
then
Station to do scientific research
likely a
and
lot
learn
of
how
it
to
will
explore
crash into the
further on.
ocean
We're working with
in this
commercial
hazard area
providers
here.
as
So
well,
those will be
not just
launch
SpaceX.
hazards
SpaceX
for
also
where it's
providing,
actually flying
cargo
today.
to the space station, but we're also working with international partners. But from here in Mission Control Houston, we're going to sit back. We actually have a view of
see
the
if there's
pad here
anything
on
big
the
that
front
we wanted to
screen
get
of
on
Mission
there.
Control.
So
Tom,
I
we'll
will
take it
switch
back
it.
to
We'll
you
switch
to
it
take
back
us through
over
the
to
final
the
moments
screen, so
before
at least
launch.
or the video, so at least you can see what's happening there. And then I'll jump back over to everybody's comments and see what's happening. Might want to mute the SpaceX stream. Oh, did I not mute it on the last one? Oops. Sorry for that. Now I don't have the SpaceX stream on at all.
And the crew access arm is already
I'm just
in
listening
the
to it.
position.
You guys are listening to nothing.
Around T-1 minutes, that's when you'll hear the call out Falcon 9 is in startup. That means that the Falcon 9 flight computers have gone into startup mode and they are now autonomously controlling the rest of the countdown. At about T-2 seconds, we will ignite the flight computer will ignite the engines, and we will check the power on those engines for a liftoff at T-0 when the hold downs release. Just a reminder that this is an instantaneous launch window tonight. If we have a hold for any reason, we will have to scrub for tonight. But we do have a backup window at March 5th at 1:38 a.m. Eastern Time. The Dragon team has given us the thumbs up for this, that the spacecraft is ready to go. The range is also green, and we're looking good. Like I said earlier, the weather is looking fantastic at the Cape for both launch and recovery. with just about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left before liftoff. Let's listen into the final countdown on the launch notes.
Yeah, so Dragon is on internal power here now. So we are counting it down. We're less than 5 minutes.
And Starback retract is starting.
Getting to 4 minutes here now, which is exciting. So really, we're going to count it down here. The flight computers will kick on to begin the pre-launch checks there right at about T-minus 1 minute. And so teams are going to be looking really closely, not at just, we got to remember on a regular Falcon 9, you're looking at, is the second stage performing well? Is the engines going to perform well? Is the first stage going to perform well? They're looking at all that stuff. And on top of that, they're going to be looking at the Crew Dragon capsule as well, basically pretending that astronauts are on board here. So if there's something wrong,
and final setup started.
They could potentially hold the launch, which essentially is scrubbing the launch because it's an instantaneous window. They can't delay today. They would if they hold, it's a scrub. But if there's something wrong with the capsule itself, that could also cause a scrub. Potentially, if there's something disastrous that would be disastrous for the future astronauts that'll be riding there. But so far we have none of that. Weather is go, range is go. No, they're not tracking any issues at the moment, so things are looking good. A lot of people asking about the mist. That is. So these are cryogenic
load has closed out.
Fuels, so a lot of condensation.
At the retract angle of 88.3 degrees.
They're super chilled fuel, super chilled liquid oxygen, and so you've got a lot of condensation happening. There is actually a liquid oxygen vent happening there as well. That's the longer stream of mist that you're seeing there. That's the liquid oxygen vent. But a lot of that is just condensation. Completely normal, happens on every Falcon 9 launch, and it's really just because of the super chilled liquid oxygen. But looking good. Coming down 2 minutes here now. Live shot, that's the Crew Dragon right there. You can see the window over on the right-hand side. The crew access arm has retracted. That got retracted like way back at T-minus 40 minutes, which is what armed the launch escape system. So once they pull the crew access arm back, you can see it there. See it there in the background.
Stage 2 LOX load closing out.
Yeah, once they pull that back, then the launch escape system, the abort system, is armed, and if anything goes wrong, then the capsule can pull itself away. What time is the launch? 2:49 a.m. Eastern Time is the launch, which is in a minute and a half. Woofa-Riff says they're nervous, but Ripley looks calm. I'm nervous. I don't know if Ripley is nervous. A lot of sensors on Ripley. Ripley is the anthropomorphic test device, aka the test dummy that is on board the Crew Dragon today. So they'll be doing a lot of sensors there in the head, the neck, the back, the spine, the testing for forces, vibrations, sound, all that kind of stuff. 72 Galaxy Tank Girl wants to see the green flash, the T-Tab.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
The igniter.
Ground gas closeout is complete.
For the engine bells. Oh my goodness. Under a minute. I'm so nervous. I don't know. I haven't felt like this since Falcon Heavy.
Stage 2 is pressing for flight.
Go for launch, says the launch director. Wow. It's so quiet. It's eerie.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. We don't hear any of the cheering from SpaceX headquarters this time. But it does sound like they have pad mics. Probably hear it. I'm going to shut up now.
Pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Come on, go. Go, 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 go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition, liftoff.
Yes! Go, baby! Go, Ripley!
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Power and telemetry nominal.
For those of you just joining us, you are watching a live view of the Falcon 9 rocket as it ascends through the atmosphere carrying the SpaceX Dragon 2 capsule to
Vehicle
orbit.
is supersonic.
The vehicle just passed through max Q, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. As you can hear in the background, the excitement at SpaceX headquarters is unbelievable here.
So first big event is going to be MECO stage separation. That happens just over 2.5 minutes into launch here.
Call out from max Q on the nets. The Falcon 9 actually throttles down its 9 Merlin engines to reduce aerodynamic loads on the vehicle. It is now throttling those engines back up.
Throttling back up, you'll start to see that engine exhaust expand out.
35 seconds is going to be 3 events in quick succession. The first one is going to be the main engine cutoff, or MECO. That's when the 9 Merlin 1D engines that you can see on your screen right now will cut off shortly before a stage separation at 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Shortly after that, the Merlin vacuum engine on the bottom of the second stage of the Falcon 9 will ignite in what we call second engine start, or SES. That'll be at 2 minutes and 46 seconds. So stand by for main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start coming up in just about 20 seconds from now.
Yep, so we're coming up on that first stage separation. That's a look inside the interstage. So that's from the first stage looking up the engine bell of the second stage. The dark area is the inside of the engine bell. And then the one on the right is the second stage looking down at the first stage. Oh, there we go. Yes.
As you can hear from the cheering here at SpaceX headquarters, we did have a successful main engine cutoff, a stage separation. And as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, that second stage engine is currently started and accelerating Dragon towards orbit. On the left-hand side of your screen, that is a view from the first stage as it makes its way back down towards the Earth. Let's go down to Lauren and Dan for updates on that first stage recovery.
So now it's coming back to land, that first stage. So we are going to get a landing today.
We had an awesome liftoff of stage 1, and stage 2 is burning beautifully. Stage 1 also has a secondary mission that it is performing right now, which is getting ready to come back to the drone ship and land. So stage 1 is going to execute 2 burns before landing on the drone ship. The first is the entry burn start, which is starting at T plus 7 minutes and 48 seconds approximately. That's where 3 of the M1D engines will reignite. And what that burn does is it slows down stage 1 as it re-enters the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere. If we didn't do that, that aerodynamic re-entry heating, the aero heating would heat up stage 1 and it would potentially break it apart. So we got to slow it down. From there, stage 1 is going to coast its way back down using those grid.
All right, I'm gonna turn her down a little bit. It's really, I don't know, it could just be my earphone, but it's really difficult to understand her, but with the crowd talking in the background. So when she stops talking, I'll turn it back up. But essentially, we got two burns happening. There's going to be an entry burn for that first stage. This is for the landing I'm talking about. So a burn for entry, which will slow it down so it doesn't break up during entry, and then the actual landing burn that brings it to 0 velocity at 0 altitude when it hits the deck of the autonomous spaceport drone ship. So, and so that landing will happen just over. It's actually a little bit longer than usual. So they've got landing scheduled on the timeline at 9:52. Typically, we see landing at about 8.5 minutes after flight. So today it's a little bit longer than usual at 9 minutes and 52 seconds. So well after second stage cutoff. That second stage cutoff, the second stage which is burning right now that we're looking at, that's at about 9 minutes, and then 1 minute later will be the actual landing. So we've got another 3.5 minutes here of the second stage. And there you go, there's Ripley.
Temperatures are good. Stage 1 continues to come back nominally, and we look over there on the left on your screen, you see that picture of Ripley and that 0G indicator.
Ripley and the zero-G indicator is still
Keep an
holding
eye out
strong.
as long as we have the view. As soon as Dragon's separated and it's essentially then in its free flight mode, you're going to see that little planet Earth start to float up. So keep an eye out once we separate Dragon in just a couple of minutes from now. 6 minutes past launch.
Trajectory continues to be nominal on stage 2.
So we're waiting on second stage cutoff. That's in about 2.5 minutes here. So
Still have about 2.5 more minutes left of this burn, at which point MVAC will shut down. We're just under a minute away from that entry burn on stage 1 that I mentioned before.
So the Falcon is not really gaining a ton of altitude now. It's actually losing a little bit of altitude as it starts to circularize its orbit. So you'll see the altitude indicator actually start to tick down a little bit.
Right,
essentially now it's focused on circularizing instead of gaining altitude.
Continuing to carry Dragon up. It's going to make it to that initial orbit after it separates. The separation coming about a minute after that second stage cutoff.
So Catherine wants to know when we're going to see Kirby fly. It'll be when the engine cuts off. When the engine cuts off, then Kirby will start floating around the cabin. So right now it's under acceleration with the engine, so Kirby is being pushed into the seat. Once the engine cuts off, then it'll be in zero G.
Is going to start. Hopefully we'll have onboard video and you'll be able to watch. Let's listen in on the call-outs.
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
Stage 1 entry burn has started.
The entry burn for stage 1.
Look at that plane. Stage 3 N1D engines reigniting. Burn is going to continue on for about another 18 or so seconds.
Sarcasmicus on Periscope says Kirby has a name. It's called Zero G Indicator. I like our name better. I know it's a Zero G indicator, but I like the Kirby. Space Kirby.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
There's the end of that stage 1 shutdown.
Okay, so stage 1 is going to continue to coast its way down using those grid fins for attitude control and steering.
While you're here and thinking about it, make sure you throw a like on the video.
That's right.
Maybe throw some hearts over on Periscope. And subscribe, do all that kind of stuff if you like this kind of thing. Don't forget all that. We're going to be doing giveaways after separation. We got a successful launch. We'll do some giveaways after separation, so stick around. Coming up on second engine cutoff here. Any second. Pretty much right now.
Stage 1 is transonic.
And we have had a successful shutdown. Then back. All right.
There it is.
Stage 1 landing burn is supposed to start. At the start of that burn, stage 1 will be traveling at 275 meters per second. That single engine burn is going to bring that from 275 to 0.
We did just hear that stage 1 landing burn has started.
What's happening? What's happening?
All right, let's see if we get it.
Oh, look at that. Yes. Look at that. That's awesome. Didn't even cut out. Well, now it cut out. But, oh, that was great. Look at that. Look at that view. That was great footage of that landing. That was fantastic. That's awesome.
Stage 1 is on that drone ship about 500 kilometers away from where it launched from. The vehicle will now undergo its safing procedures, and the recovery team will make sure it's strapped down and it'll make its way back to Earth. Or, sorry, back to Cape Canaveral. It's already on. So there's still a lot more to go here. We have Dragon separation coming up. Let's go back to Tom Perderio to cover that next big milestone.
Our little
what
Kirby
a landing.
doing a little bit of
coming
floating.
up very shortly, in just about 20 seconds here, the Dragon spacecraft is going to be separating from the top of the Falcon 9 rocket.
Yeah, so that separation was timed for about 11 minutes.
Separation should be occurring around 11 minutes and 5 seconds, just about now. Let's wait for confirmation.
Dragon, separation confirmed.
There you go. Dragon separation confirmed.
And there it is. You're looking at a view from the top of the second stage of the Falcon 9 rocket. And hard to make out in the shadow of the Earth, but that is the Dragon 2 spacecraft flying in space for the first time after a successful separation. This is a great day for everyone here at SpaceX and NASA. Let's go back over to Gary Johnson and see how they're handling it over there. It's kind of crazy over here. How is it over there, Gary?
Thanks, Tom. We were definitely enjoying hearing some of the cheers from over you guys. You can actually kind of see behind us. We got quite a number of viewers here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room. Very exciting time that we have now that they're waving. So this is, for us here in Mission Control Houston, this is just the beginning. Now that Dragon is in orbit, we have just over a day until Dragon's scheduled to be docked to the International Space Station. There's a lot of milestones to get through. The crew have been, again, reviewing their procedures, getting ready for some of those moments, again, monitoring the approach and even performing some commands while the Dragon is close enough. But again, there's a lot of work to do. We have docking scheduled for 6 a.m. tomorrow. We'll continue to monitor Dragon during that time. In the meantime, we'll toss to Lauren and Dan to witness some of these final milestones of Dragon now that it is in orbit. Back to you.
Thank you, Gary. Now for a typical Sirius mission, right about now, we'll be awaiting solar array deployment. But as a reminder, Crew Dragon has solar array body mounted around the surface of the trunk. That's already activated.
I have no idea what she's saying.
Dragon is doing awesome.
That's right, and as Tom just mentioned, the nose cone is going to be opening, and that's going to expose those guidance and navigation control sensors and the docking mechanism. And then pretty soon, Dragon's going to execute that series of burns to gradually raise its orbit up to align more closely with the International Space Station.
Quick mission overview recap. We had a successful launch of Stage 1 and Dragon, of course. We landed Stage 1 on the drone ship, had video the whole way down. You got to check that out. Dragon has separated, it's activated, and it's now on its mission. So on behalf of SpaceX and NASA, thank you for watching today's broadcast. Thank you for your interest in the mission. And a big thank you to the Eastern Range for helping make today's launch possible.
Crew Dragon's mission obviously far from over. It's going to spend the next day or so on its way to the space station. It's going to arrive and dock just before 6 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, and it's going to spend 5 days attached. To get there, it's going to begin that series of phasing burns to raise its orbit just beneath the space station, at which point we begin that slow and steady approach to docking.
We will be broadcasting Dragon's arrival and docking live on SpaceX.com and NASA TV. Our coverage will begin at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to follow SpaceX and NASA on social media for real-time updates. Thank you again for watching, and hopefully you'll join us for docking.
T-minus 15 seconds.
All right, well, there it is. I think they're going to show us the launch here again.
10.
That was fantastic.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Now this is a replay,
Liftoff.
in case anybody's confused by that.
Vehicle is pitching down range.
Well, that was fantastic here. So there's a look at the launch again here. We got a little more to talk about. We're going to do some giveaways here shortly for a successful mission. So stick around here in a second. You can win some prizes here. We got some space swag to give away to a couple of lucky winners here. But how awesome was that? That was fantastic. launched on time, no issues. The somebody said no floating Kirby shot. You did actually see, if you looked carefully, you could see Kirby kind of floating around just a little bit. They didn't really stick around with those internal views too much. I thought they were going to play this a little more like Falcon Heavy and do a longer extended views inside the capsule after they were done. Like at this point, basically, I figured they'd stop talking and they'd be like, all right, we're done broadcasting. But here's video of inside the capsule, and we'll show this to you for the next couple of hours. But yeah, I guess they just kind of cut it off and said, well, we did it, we're there, and we're moving on. So just to give you an idea on what happens next at this point, so this is going to be a 6-day mission for the Crew Dragon capsule and the anthropomorphic test device Ripley. That will consist of tomorrow. It's going to dock with the International Space Station at like 6 a.m. or they said the broadcast is going to start at 3:30 a.m. I'm assuming that's Eastern time tomorrow. Oh my goodness, so early in the morning. Don't these people know that a guy's got to sleep? I need some sleep. It's so. Anyway, so it'll be docking tomorrow early morning with the International Space Station. It's an autonomous docking process, which will happen even when there are astronauts on board. It will generally be autonomously docking to the space station. However, the astronauts can take manual control if necessary. So if somebody wants to go joyriding and fly around, they can do that. I'm sure they won't, but they could. Anyways, so it's going to dock with the space station. There is about 400 pounds of supplies on board for the space station, so it's not just completely test dummies. There's the test dummies. There's 400 pounds of supplies for the space station, just like a regular crew or cargo Dragon mission. So they are still bringing supplies up, and what else was I going to say? So supplies, they're bringing supplies up. I had another thought on that, but I don't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, so stick around for about 5 days attached to the space station. Then on March 8th, it will separate from the space station, do a deorbit burn, and land a couple hours later on March 8th. And it will do the whole splashdown, re-entry, parachutes out, splashdown, recovery. Splashdown is happening in the Atlantic Ocean, which is also a little bit different. Usually the cargo Dragon splashes down in the Pacific Ocean. The Crew Dragon will be splashing down in the Atlantic Ocean for a little logistics, easier recovery logistics out there in the Atlantic Ocean for the Crew Dragon mission. So that splashdown will happen on March 8th. That's when they'll be able to get all the sensor data from Ripley, because Ripley was not transmitting sensor data in real time, so they'll have to get that information from Ripley. They'll still be doing more testing with Ripley on the way down as well. So on the way up, they're testing G-forces, acceleration, loads, vibrations, sounds, all that kind of stuff. And they'll do the same thing on the way down as well. Let's see. Let me check some of your comments, then we'll jump to some giveaways, and then we'll wrap things up, and we'll see if we can go to bed. So let's check out what everybody's saying. I see a bunch of comments flew by on the Periscope. Wish we had this in the UK. Let's see, how long does it take to get there? So it's about 30 hours, I think they said, for it to rendezvous with the space station. So it'll be tomorrow morning when it actually docks with the space station. So I thought it was 27 hours. Somebody in the chat said it was 30 hours, but I think it's like 27 hours because that would make sense. Because now we just launched, 24 hours, be 3 a.m. Say a couple more hours. Docks at 6 a.m. So I think it's about 27 hours to rendezvous. You did all that math right there. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and you guys got me doing math here with trying to figure out what time docking is tomorrow with the 27 hours. And whew. All right, we're getting tired here now. I'm still shocked NASA's going to let them auto dock. Says Chusacon on the YouTube page. Yeah, I think I'm kind of surprised by that as well. Because you would think, they are very careful to try to they're very protective of the space station. They've got a keep out zone. They kind of showed it in the broadcast a little bit, but there's a keep out zone. There's an approach zone, and if any of those ever get violated, the approach gets aborted. So they're very protective of the space station, and rightly so. They don't want a craft accidentally bumping into something that it shouldn't and damaging sensitive instruments. But yeah, this is going to auto dock at the space station. Josh says, bro, I'm so happy. Stage 1 landing. That stage 1 landing was pretty awesome. We got video the whole way down, all the way right to touchdown, which was awesome. Why don't they just film the whole journey? I mean, I'm sure they do. SpaceX has a lot more video footage than they share with us. And I don't really have an exact reason why they don't do it, but I suspect they don't do it because they don't want the people there running it to share it and sit there and stream it. I don't really know why. I would love them to put out a lot more uncut, unedited footage of an entire launch, but they haven't really done too much of that to date. But they have a lot more video footage than you and I get to see. Waiting on the docking in 30 minutes? No, docking is not in 30 minutes. Did I say 30 minutes? It's not 30 minutes. It's 30 hours. I think it's actually like 27 hours. It's going to be tomorrow. So don't wait around for 30 minutes. You're not going to see docking today. Landing was tremendous. I agree. I wish I could go on this trip with Ripley. Someday, we're getting there. That was awesome. Plot twist: Elon is Ripley. How funny would that be if Elon just tucked himself right in the capsule there, and they open up and dock with the space station? He's like, surprise! Be interesting. Let's see. If it's 6 a.m., that's only 3 hours away. No, 6 a.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow, 6 a.m. Like a whole nother day. There's another 6 a.m. that comes tomorrow. It'll be that 6 a.m. Can't wait to see the docking. Elon, auto dock equals Elon with an Xbox controller. Let's see. It's better. Trying to see what other comments here. Shine in Poverty says, if I just drink 27 energy drinks, I think I can make it until docking. I recommend throwing some sleep in there first. Maybe throw some sleep in there and then you make it to docking. All right. So why don't we do some giveaways here? So if you're new here, we like to do giveaways after a successful launch. And if you want to win one of the giveaways, what you got to do is you got to head over to the YouTube channel. So if you're on Periscope, I apologize to you Periscope folks. I can't do giveaways on Periscope only because my random giveaway generator friend Nightbot only works on YouTube. And I want to make sure we get a random viewer. So you can certainly keep the Periscope open. You don't necessarily have to jump out of the Periscope. You just have to head over to the YouTube channel right here, youtube.com/OLHCN. Find this live video, which should be right on the front page of our channel, and just throw in a comment. Say hello, say that landing was awesome, say go Ripley, say something. And that'll enter you into possibly winning one of our giveaway prizes, which we got a couple of things that we're going to give away here tonight. We got some mission patches from other missions. We've got some pins. I got to get them out of the bag. I promised you in one of our previous broadcasts earlier, everybody liked the pin. So we've got an official NASA pin here, or NASA test pin that we're going to give away. We've got ourselves a Overlook Horizon sticker that we're going to give away. So we got some giveaways happening here, and we will we're going to give those away. There are a couple of rules. People hear me say this if you've been to my broadcast. Unfortunately, there's a couple of rules that go along with giveaways. Unfortunately, there are laws to give away free stuff. Who would have thought it'd be hard to give away free stuff? I feel like this is what I say every single time because I'm still amazed that there are laws and you can't just give away free stuff to people unrestricted. There's laws for this sort of thing. So what that means, there's official rules in the YouTube description. You can click on it if you want to read some legal jargon, go for it. But essentially the big thing is you have to be in one of the eligible areas to win the giveaway. The eligible areas would be the United States, Canada, the European Union, the United Kingdom, those are the eligible areas, and there are even some exceptions in there. Like Quebec, if you're in Quebec, sorry, you're out. That's an exception. If Gregorius, our moderator, is around, he could probably look up, usually he throws in what the actual countries are. I really should memorize what the country exceptions are. There's a couple of exceptions in the European Union that can't win as well for legal mumbo jumbo reasons. I don't know, but if you're in the eligible areas, you can win a giveaway. We'll give one of these prizes. BattleCam hates free stuff. BattleCam 0 says, I hate free stuff. How do you hate free stuff? Nobody hates free stuff, right? Gordon says, don't forget about the pins. You're right, Gordon. I didn't forget. We're going to give away some pins today. I promised you on this flight I would give away some pins. So we will definitely give away some pins. I'm going to give it a couple minutes here for people to jump on the channel and get their comments in before we give them away. So I'm kind of just I'm going to stall and chat you up for a little bit while I collect all the comments. And in case you let's see here, I'll throw the banner up here again in case you missed it, so you know where to go. You can enter the giveaways on youtube.com/OLHCN. Find this video, throw in a comment, say hello, tell me where you're from, tell me where you're watching from, any of that kind of stuff. That would be great. Free Red Lobster gift cards. I'm still working on that Red Lobster sponsorship. They're not interested in sponsoring the Space Lobster, apparently. 72 Galaxy Tank Girl is going to add the pin to her hat, is what she's saying. Can you autograph the prize? I can certainly autograph something if you want. If you would like my autograph, you just tell me. If you win, you tell me in your message that you want me to do something like that, and I can certainly do that. Let's see. We got California in the house. Bunch of people from California I saw tonight in the statistics. Catherine Lewin wants a lobster patch. I don't have any lobster patches. I do have lobster stickers somewhere. Where are my lobster stickers? Let me get a lobster sticker. I feel like we haven't had a lobster sticker in a long time. I'm gonna get a lobster sticker here. I'm gonna actually get up. I'm still attached, so I can't go too far, but I think I can get far enough to reach the lobster stickers here. Don't worry, the host is just leaving the show, but he'll be back. I just have to get the lobster stickers. No, those aren't lobster stickers. Where are my lobster stickers? No. Well, maybe we can't give away some lobster stickers because I don't see them. Oh, there they are. Whew, I found them. Buried in my stuff. All right, so the host is back. The host left the show for a minute. We're back. We'll give away some lobster stickers. What they're talking about, we've got. I don't have lobster patches. I would love to actually get official mission patches for our weather balloon flights. If you're not familiar with what we actually do here, we do weather balloon flights. Weird, right? But those are coming up. We don't do them in the wintertime, but we start them up in the spring, and we do them in the spring and the summer. Those are coming up soon. Our first flight will be coming up here probably next month. In April is usually when we try to start doing our flights. So we're starting to gear up and maybe get one of our first flights in. But one of our flights was the Space Lobster last year, and that's the mission patch sticker for the Space Lobster flight right there. So we'll give away a Space Lobster sticker. Maybe we'll even give away, because we got so many people that are hanging out here with us today. We got a lot of people hanging out on the YouTube channel. We got a ton of people. See, we got 4,000 people on the Periscopes watching us here, so a ton of people watching today. So maybe we'll even throw another sticker in there as well. Maybe just for giggles. I don't know how I would do it. See, I can't. I have no way to give away to the Periscope world here. So it's going to have to be on the YouTube channel so we can let Nightbot choose. So one more time, it is collecting all the responses here. So don't worry, we've got a ton of eligible people here today that have been throwing their comments in. It is collecting a ton of comments, and Nightbot is going to start he's going to choose a winner here shortly. And the first thing that we're going to give away, which is what we always lead off with because it's the most exciting space swag that we have. I don't know what we're going to do once we run out of these. We still got a couple more to go, but it's the most exciting thing, at least in my opinion. I love it. Is the actual NASA TESS official mission patch. This is legit. I don't know if you can see it. This is a sewn mission patch. This is the real deal. This is from the NASA TESS mission, which launched almost a year ago, last April. I was there in person to watch it. The NASA TESS mission, that's the Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite. It's a big, well, not too big, but it's a space telescope that's essentially looking for exoplanets that is currently in orbit and looking for those exoplanets now. And so this is the official mission patch from the TESS mission here. And so that'll be the first thing that we give away. Then we'll give away the NASA TESS pin here. We've got some pins that we'll give away, and then we'll give away a couple of stickers, and then we'll call it a day. And if you don't win one of the, I can't sell these because these aren't ours, so we don't sell these. These are just giveaways. But if you don't win a sticker, if you want to get yourself a Space Lobster sticker, we've got the other Space Lobster sticker or an Overlook Horizon sticker. You can go to overlookhorizon.com it's getting late. overlookhorizon.com/shop, and you can buy a sticker, and it helps support our 501c3 nonprofit organization, which helps. Generally, our mission is to promote science and technology education with kids and adults. We're trying to get more people interested in science and technology, which is why we do all this stuff. So if you do decide to buy yourself a sticker, it helps support our flights. But a couple of you will be lucky enough to actually win a sticker. And you get it for free. So, did I stall long enough? Did we get enough eligible people here for the giveaways? Got some super hearts here on Periscope. So thanks to Stunt If You Want. Is that what that says? And Shelly S on Periscope for the super hearts. Thanks very much. If you're hanging around and just want to throw some hearts over on the Periscope channel, that would be great and greatly appreciated. If you're on the YouTube, if you want to like the video and subscribe to the channel, also greatly appreciated. You know, all that kind of stuff that you watch. You must watch YouTube videos. Everybody says that kind of thing. That's what we got to get the thing too. Anyways, all right. I'm just stalling. I'm waiting for people to throw their comments in, but I think we stalled enough. We'll give the first giveaway in. So we got a whole bunch of eligible people. Wow, look at all the eligible people that are on Nightbot's list here to potentially win a giveaway. And first thing up is going to be the NASA TESS mission patch, and we're going to give it a go here now. So you got about 2 seconds to get your comments in. Just change the title to Vamp. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing here right now. Just waiting for people to get comments in. All right, so we're going to give away this patch here. Again, got to be in the eligible areas: United States, Canada, UK, European Union, and not in one of those exception areas. And we're going to give away, let's see. Oh, everybody's wondering what the Space Lobster is. Gregorius is telling people to go back and watch the Falcon Heavy stream. That's where the Space Lobster was born, was on the Falcon Heavy stream. So, all right, we've stalled enough. We've vamped enough. It's time to give it away to somebody that's commenting here, and so here we go. We're gonna hit the roll it button. We're gonna let Nightbot choose our winner. Nightbot is the one. Don't yell at me. Yell at Nightbot if you don't win. But here it is. 3, 2, 1. Roll it. There it is. The winner of the NASA TESS mission patch is Nirmal Patel. Nirmal, you won yourself a NASA TESS mission patch as long as you're in the eligible areas: United States, Canada, UK, or the European Union, not inside one of those exception areas. And if you want to actually get the patch, what you need to do is send me a direct message. You can send me a direct message. Easiest place to send me a direct message is on the Twitter machine. If you go over to the Twitter machine, send me a direct message here, then I'll get it and I'll send it out. You got to tell me the address that you want it to go to, and that's where I'll send it. You give me the address, I send it. I don't do anything with the addresses. I take it, I send it to you. That's it. Done deal. You're not going to get anything else from us. But you can send direct message on Twitter. You can also go to Facebook, send us a direct message there, facebook.com/overlookhorizon, or you can go to overlookhorizon.com And you can use the contact us form and send me a message there. Some way, somehow, send me a direct message. Tell me the address that that you want it to go to. Uh-oh. Nirmal. Nirmal says Nirmal is from India. Oh, no. That's no good, Nirmal. That's no good. That's outside the eligible area. We're gonna have to re-roll. I'm so sorry. I hate when this happens. I wish I could do it. The lawyers, man, they get involved. They don't let me do it. They only let me send to the eligible areas. So, appreciate you being upfront and honest about it. I wish I could get it to you, but unfortunately I can't. So we'll do a re-roll. That's the way it is. I'm sorry. Okay, so re-roll time. So you could still win it. You could still win it. Here we go. We'll re-roll it. We'll give it away one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Re-roll. There it is. It's going to Steven. How about Steven? Steven, are you in the eligible area? United States, Canada, UK, or the European Union? Not inside one of those exception areas. But there you go. Steven is the winner of the re-roll. Hopefully, Steven is in one of the eligible areas, and then you've won yourself a NASA TESS mission patch. And again, got to send me a direct message. Let me know where you want it to go. Sorry, I had a cough. Cough button. Anyway, so there you go. Steven won yourself a NASA TESS mission patch, and send me a direct message. Let me know the address that you want it to go to. All right, now we will, should I open it? I'm going to open this pin so you can actually see it. I'll put it back in when I mail it to you. I'm going to open it. It's hard to look at through the plastic if I try to show it up here. But this is the legit. This is the real deal. This is a pin right here. Oh, there you go. Steven says from I'm assuming that's California. So there you go. Send me a direct message, Steven. Let me know the address you want me to ship that patch to, and it's yours. All right, so next thing we're giving away here is the NASA TESS pin. This is just, your typical pin here with a little back thing there, and you pin it on whatever you pin things to. So there you go. That's the NASA TESS pin. Will it focus? It looks a little blurry. So there you go. Anyways, so we're going to give away one of these pins. We don't have many of those. I didn't think people would like them as much, but apparently I was very surprised the last time we gave them away. People loved the pins. They were everybody was trying to get their hands on a pin. So, all right, so let's give away a pin. And let's see. Uh-oh, people on Periscope are saying they can't get to the YouTube channel. It says error. I don't know anything about that. We do have a lot of people that are on the YouTube channel and commenting. I don't know anything about the YouTube, if there's an error on YouTube. I don't know, perhaps somebody that's out there can look up what's happening. Unfortunately, I can't do that while I'm live, but that's a super bummer if you're getting some sort of error. I would say make sure you typed it in correctly. Maybe, I don't know, maybe make sure it's spelled right. I don't know. Anyways, so we're giving away the pin. Okay, pins are cool. Don't put your hands on your pin on the live stream. I don't know what that means. Did I contaminate it? Who's your daddy's never heard of Periscope? It's another one of those internet machines. All right, Nightbot, give away a pin to somebody here. We're going to give away a pin, so who's going to win the pin? 3, 2, 1. Quick Draw Fun has won the pin. There you go, Quick Draw Fun. Look at that, Quick Draw Fun commented right before Nightbot announced it. Quick Draw Fun wins the pin. So there you go, Quick Draw Fun. As long as you're in the eligible area and you send me a direct message with your address that you want me to send it to, it's yours. So there you are. Okay, let's give away some more stuff. We'll keep going. We'll do a little bit more, and we'll wrap up. We'll take a look at just a few things, and we'll wrap up. And I got to go to bed. It's getting late. It's getting late. So, again, send me a direct message there, Quick Draw Fun. Twitter is the best place to do it. But you can do it on Facebook or overlookhorizon.com. Some way, get in touch. Give me an address, and it'll be yours. Okay, Wouldn't be an Overlook Horizon stream if we didn't give away an Overlook Horizon sticker. So that's our official mission patch sticker for our weather balloon flights. So we'll give away one of these, give away one of our mission patch stickers here, and we'll give that away. All right. So we'll do here's for the sticker. 1, 2, 3, roll it. Jay Mahoney. There you go, Jay Mahoney. You won yourself an Overlook Horizon mission patch sticker. Send me a direct message, Twitter, Facebook, overlookhorizon.com. Let me know. Let me know where you want me to send it to. Somebody asked, Bella Doll, how many passengers does Dragon seat? I believe it's up to 7, I wanted to say, that it could potentially seat. Yeah, I think it's 7 people that you could potentially seat in the Dragon. They're not going to do that initially, so the initial flight is just 2. The second flight with astronauts will be 4. It'll be 2 NASA astronauts and 2 international astronauts, so it'll be a total of 4 people. So they're going to start smaller, but it has the capacity to fit up to 7 seats in it, but we're not quite there yet. So there's the answer to that question for you. Did I miss any others here? Who needs sleep, says Wildlife321. I need sleep. Brad the Stud, I can see your old videos on YouTube, but I can't see the live one. Interesting. I don't know how that works. Well, here's a recommendation for you, Brad the Stud. If you're having trouble, for some reason, getting on the YouTube channel, you can always go to our Twitter account. I did tweet out some links directly to this live video on YouTube. So if you have a Twitter, or it's on Facebook too, if you got Facebook, or Instagram, it's on Instagram too. We got an Instagram as well. But if you go to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, there should be a link to our live, directly to the live video, if you want to try that. It's one of those crazy links with a whole bunch of letters and numbers at the end. But you can go directly to it if you look on our Twitter page. There you go. Oh, there you go. Eagle Soars USA says scroll down and you can see the live one. So there you go. Maybe that's the answer you're looking for, Brad the Stud. How many passengers on your balloon? We don't have any passengers on our balloon. The only passenger we've had to date has been we've had 2 passengers to date. One was the space referee, which is over on my shelf over there. I can't reach him. I'm connected here. And the other one was the space lobster, which was this guy. So those are the only 2 passengers we've sent up. You can't send people on our balloons. They wouldn't make it. We have no environmental control. There we go. Dark Engineer, do you play a lot of Kerbal Space Program? I would like to play more. The winter time is a very busy time for me. I have not had much time to play Kerbal Space Program. I do play Kerbal Space Program, and I love Kerbal Space Program. I don't play it enough, but I do play it some, sometimes on this channel. Wildlife321 says they're gonna give me a couch to sleep on if he can get a pin, or he or she. Bunch of people asked if I'm going to live stream the docking. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. I'm not 100% sure. It's super early. I would like to, but I'm going to think about it. Right now I can't think about it at 3:30 in the morning. I think I might try. I might try to live stream it. I've got everything set up, but I'm going to try. I don't know. I'll think about it tomorrow when I can clear my head and it's not the middle of the night. When will the docking take place? So the live stream starts 3:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning. I think actual docking is like 6 a.m. Okay, let's give away. We got 2 more stickers to give away. 2 more stickers. I'm trying to answer some questions here and actually give you some SpaceX info while we're here, but Tori, it'll be Sunday. I know, but at some point, Tori's got to sleep. I need some sleep. Please try. I love listening to you. All right, Catherine, you're really pulling at my heartstrings here. I might have to try it just because you asked so nicely. I'll put out an update tomorrow during the day, and we'll figure out if we can do a stream. But it would be Sunday morning. So there you go. So it's not a normal day in the week. I got up early for this epic event. I'll be up again for docking, says 31 Edward. What's the protocol when coming into contact with aliens? Well, hopefully it's not an alien like the movie Aliens. So hopefully Ripley is not encountering those aliens. He's obsessed with KSP. I don't know who's obsessed with KSP. Your son? Oh, maybe it might be your son. She's talking about. I love KSP, Kerbal Space Program. I almost said KFC. I don't mind KFC either, but don't tell Red Lobster that. I'm still working on the Red Lobster sponsorship. Will you pick, please? All right, we'll pick a winner. Let's see. I asked nicely. All right. Let's let Nightbot pick another winner. We got a bunch of people jumping off. Holy smokes, my Periscope numbers just dropped big time. Everybody left the Periscope stream all at once. I don't know what happened there. All right, goodbye, everybody. Hopefully that means they all jumped over to the YouTube channel to get eligible for a giveaway. A giveaway, just in case you forgot how to get there. Here's the giveaway. Here's how you get there. All right, Nightbot. People are getting antsy. We're gonna give away. Where's my Nightbot go? All right, here we go. We'll do one more giveaway here. Oh no, we got 2 more giveaways. Sorry. All right, here's a quick one. We'll give away the Space Lobster Mission Patch sticker. And it's going to go to this winner here. 3, 2, 1, roll it. Juan Martinez. Juan, you got yourself a Mission Patch, a Space Lobster Mission Patch sticker. You just got to send me a direct message. Again, Twitter's the best place, but you can also send it on Facebook, Instagram, overlookhorizon.com, one of those places. Send me a direct message. Tell me the address you want your Space Lobster sticker going to, and it's yours, Juan. Yeah, the internet went to sleep. The internet really did go to sleep. I went from almost 5,000 viewers down to like 100 in seconds. I don't know what happened there. That was on Periscope. It was like boom, just like that. Everybody was gone. It was interesting. It was like the internet just went to sleep like that. Woo. Okay, well. So there you go, Juan. Send me that direct message, and then we'll give away one more Space Lobster sticker. This is the alternate Space Lobster sticker. Oh, look at that! It'll chroma key out if I do it that way. But this is the alternate Space Lobster sticker here, and we'll give that one away. That'll be the last one of the night. Here it goes. 3, 2, 1, roll it. And there you go. That goes to Elon the Shield. Elin. I said Elon. Elin. So there you go. Send me a direct message. Let me know, all you prize winners, let me know where you want your stuff to go. Twitter's the best place. Facebook, Instagram, any of those places. We'll be, you send those to me and we'll get them shipped out to you ASAP. Usually takes me at least a couple of days to get those out. But we will get those out. I don't forget anybody. I get them out as quickly as I can. All right. So what did we miss here today? We're going to try to wrap things up here. So before we wrap things up, I would tell you just make sure you like the video, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Throw some hearts over on Periscope if you're still left. Apparently, somebody says I got featured on Periscope, which is how I got so many viewers. Well, that makes a lot more sense. I was wondering how we got so many Periscope viewers today. So apparently we got featured today on Periscope, so that's fantastic. Awesome. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap things up here. Anybody else want to know anything? Did we miss any? Did I miss anything in my resources here? The stuff that I was going to show you guys? I think we covered it all during that bit of a lull. Yeah, I got through all my stuff that I wanted to show. And yeah, please, Trippin' Fool says, please stream the docking. Oh, you guys are killing me. All right, I might have to do it. Everybody's asking so nicely. It's going to be tough because it's early in the morning. I'm tired, but we'll try. I'll put something out tomorrow. I'll let you know one way or another. I'm leaning towards doing it because you guys talked me into it. Another late night, but I'm leaning towards doing it. All right. Can we buy the pins and patches? Unfortunately, no. I can't sell the pins and the patches because those are not our products. So we use those as giveaways only. Can't sell the pins and patches. But you can buy yourself a sticker. We do have those stickers for sale if you'd like to buy a sticker. We also, I don't think they're on our shop yet, but FYI, we do have magnets. I wasn't going to give one away today, but we have magnets. And we just ordered. We ordered because so many people liked the pins. We ordered our own. I think, well, they're buttons. They're not pins. We ordered our own buttons, Overlook Horizon buttons, that will be coming. I think I'm supposed to get them in like a week or something like that. So we have some Overlook Horizon buttons coming. New giveaway thing that we could give away. So that should be fun. Mike Ferguson, peer pressure. He talked me into it on the docking tomorrow. I don't usually live stream the dockings, but this is a special occasion because it's the Crew Dragon. You guys are talking me into it. All right. What else? Ray on Periscope says, great show. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. Throw over some hearts on Periscope. If you don't mind, if you liked it, really appreciate the kind words there, Ray. Thanks for the stream, says North Gathering. Thanks for joining us here, North. The docking won't be the same without you. Oh man, you guys are you're peer pressuring me into this. I love it and hate it at the same time. Just subscribe. Question, what was that lightning bolt right before launch? I'm not sure. Did you see a lightning bolt before launch? I didn't see a lightning bolt. There is a flash right before launch. That's the TTEB. TTEB is the triethyl aluminum triethyl borane, which is the igniter fluid basically for the Falcon 9 rocket. It comes as a green flash. So it's a big green flash, green tinted flash that you'll see first, and then the engines ignite. And you can see it on the second stage too. When the second stage lights and they do that separation cam through the interstage, you can see the little green flash, and then the Merlin engine comes to life. So if the lightning bolt you're referring to, that's Daniel Little on the YouTube channel. If that lightning bolt you're talking about is the green flash, that's the TTEB. Lightning. Oh, somebody said they saw light. That was light. Oh yeah, might have. I guess it was lightning. There was actually lightning in the distance. I didn't even notice it. Apparently, I was too busy just staring at the Crew Dragon. So I guess there was actually lightning in the distance that I didn't even notice. Apparently. Now I'm curious. Can we back it up and see? And we're going to mute this here. We'll back it up. Where was the lightning? I didn't see any lightning. Here we. In case you're curious on what I'm looking at here, watch along with me. Where is this lightning you were talking about? Well, what is this? Thanks for tuning in. The stream ended. I know the stream ended. I'm trying to replay it. Where was launch? Yeah, right there. Go, play. 12, 11. It was after launch? It said just after launch. Watch the replays. Yeah, we're watching. All right. So here's the launch. Is there lightning in the background? I didn't see any. Did I miss it already? It said flash. Was it after launch or before launch, did you say it was? Or did I miss it already? I don't see any lightning. Maybe it was before launch. Around, 1 minute before launch, somebody says. Okay, let me back up further. That's not far enough. Back up even further. 1 minute before launch. Here's 1 minute before launch. We'll watch the countdown here. We can watch a replay while we're here. Watch some replay. See if we can see this mysterious flash that somebody was talking about. They said it was lightning. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right there. I didn't even see that during the... It was lightning. It is lightning. There it is. It was off to the left side of the Crew Dragon there. Right over here. Did we miss it already? Yeah, right there. Look at that, lightning. Didn't even see that at the time. How about that? All right, so that's what was that lightning before launch? It was lightning. There you go. All right. So I think somebody asked if that would affect it. It really, it depends on how close it is. I mean, that's pretty far in the distance. And the thing about the Falcon 9 and most rockets in general is they get up above the weather pretty quickly. So really, when they're looking at weather and precipitation and lightning and stuff like that, really they just have to look around, like within the very near vicinity of the launch pad. Now, I mean, it's not like feet, but you know, the couple of miles within the launch pad. I mean, if there's a storm that's 100 miles out, it doesn't really bother them because they're gonna fly up and over the storm well before they get that far down range. So it gets up pretty quickly above the weather. So if there's a storm out there, not too bad. Everyday Astronaut commented on the lightning in his live stream. Yeah, he was down there live. That's Tim Dodd. He was down there live, so it was probably much easier to notice if you're actually down there live, I imagine. Let's see. Cool lightning. Was that lightning? It was lightning, yeah. Let's see. Do I get a lightning sticker? I don't have a lightning sticker, but thanks for pointing that out, Daniel. Didn't even notice that at the time of launch, so that's why we need you. Your stream is so good to watch. Thanks for the explanation and looking back. Definitely subbed. Well, thanks, Max L. Max subscribed to the channel. Appreciate it. That is very kind of you. Yeah, I don't know how I missed the lightning. What is the problem with all caps? Oh, Nightbot doesn't like all caps. Nightbot is our moderator, and doesn't want to. Nightbot doesn't like the all caps. So yeah, unfortunately, you can't comment in all caps because you'll upset the Nightbot. We try to keep Nightbot calm. When you get Nightbot upset, starts taking action. All right, now everybody's talking about the Everyday Astronaut. It was definitely lightning. What else we have here? Going back through a couple of comments. I said I was going to wrap this up, but now I'm going back through comments. Yeah, I think that's he's a bot. Yeah, Nightbot is a bot. It's not a real person. All right, folks. What do you say? Should we call it a night? I think we should probably call it a night. Everybody wants me to stream the docking. I'm leaning towards streaming it. You guys all peer pressured me into it, so we'll try to. We'll see if we can. We could probably do it. I can pull it together. We'll find some energy and see if we can stream the docking tomorrow morning. Oh my goodness, that's going to be so early. I got to figure out what time I would stream it. You can head over. Maybe somebody could chat me up in the Discord channel. Let me know what your thoughts or opinions. I'm getting so tired I can't even really think. I don't know if I could think that far ahead right now. But yeah, if you want to chat it up after the show, and by after the show I mean probably tomorrow morning, because I'm probably going to bed after this. But if you want to chat it up with us after hours, you can head over to our Discord channel. Check the link in the YouTube description. We do have a Discord channel, so feel free to check that out. And we can figure out a time to stream tomorrow morning. That's where I was going with this. I'm getting tired. Okay. Nighty night, says California Sky. Oh, man. It looks like... what's this? I got some tweets here from Elon, I see. Or a tweet from Elon. Did he send out some pictures? Oh, that's a video replay, so we already watched that. We just did it. Oh, we got a donation from Liz. Thanks, Liz, for the donation. Appreciate that. We are a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization. So if you do issue us a donation, it is tax deductible for those of you in the United States. So if you want to support our weather balloon flights and our educational initiatives to get kids and adults into science and technology, you can always send over a donation. Or if you don't want to do a donation, you can buy a sticker, something like that. Or just watch our streams and subscribe. We'll do more of this. That helps us out too. Okay, did we miss anything? SpaceX tweeted. Oh, those are their status tweets. We didn't miss any of those. Elon's. Yeah, I think we covered it all. I think that's it. If they have notifications, they will know when you're on. Yeah, you can turn on the notifications if you subscribe and you hit the little notification the notification bell. You'll get a notification when we go live. Let's see. If it's at 6, start streaming at 5. That's kind of what I was thinking, something like that. Yeah. All right. Oh, wow. Look at all the hearts coming through on Periscope. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Wait. Howl Shane says, wait. What do you need, Howl? What are we waiting for? You rock, man. Thanks, Wildlife. Appreciate it. Rhodey Senior is giving me the Z's. I think Rhodey is done. Rhodey wants to go to bed. Fulmer Roy says goodbye. Thank you. Loved it. Thanks. Get some sleep. See you tomorrow. All right. Everybody all pressured me into it. You did this live? I did, Craig. Yep, this was live, Craig. Craig is shocked that we were able to do this live. This isn't Periscope, so okay. So, sweet. Keep streaming till we find it. Till we find what? What are we looking for? I think I saw something saw something at some minute during launch. It's very generic. You have to be a little more specific than that. I saw something sometime during the launch. Great job, bro. Just subscribed on both Periscope and YouTube. Catch some sleep. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Thanks for the stream, says Max L. Payload for the ISS wants to know, raise a cult. I believe it's just crew supplies. So nothing like major, but there is 400 pounds of supplies. So there'd be like food and supplies for the crew that's on board the space station. That's what flew on today's Crew Dragon. So it's 400 pounds of crew supplies for the space station. How much did the Space Lobster auction for? Yeah, so we did auction the Space Lobster that went to space. I don't remember the exact dollar amount that it went for, but I think you can still go to overlookhorizon.com/auction. You could see the dollar amount. But yeah, we did auction it, and the Space Lobster went to a new home in Maine, of all places. We sent the Space Lobster to Maine. How fitting, right? New disco ball for the ISS. Yep, that's what's on. Fresh underwear. Yeah, all that kind of good stuff. So, all right, my friends. We've been going now for about 2.5 hours. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning here. Catherine wants to know about SpaceX blowing something up this year. Is that true? So I did say that previously. I don't think that's true. I was listening and reading some of the stuff on the, so what we were talking about was the in-flight abort. And there was this rumor going around that SpaceX might like intentionally explode the first stage while they did the in-flight abort. I don't think that's going to happen. From the sounds of it, last time Elon described it, it was not that the first stage was going to explode. It sounds like to me that they're gonna do the in-flight abort, separate the capsule, and run the abort motors and rockets to get the capsule away. But the Super Draco engines on the capsule that fire, I believe what Elon had said is that those will destroy the first stage. Now I think that's where this rumor might have started, is the Super Dracos will destroy the first stage. I think by destroy the first stage, it just means it won't be reusable for another flight. I don't think that means it's going to go. I think it's just going to be that it's not reusable for another flight. But I think they're just going to put it through as much stress as possible and pull the capsule away at the highest stress point and see how the capsule performs, and the rocket too. But I don't think it's going to explode. That was kind of this rumor that was floating around. It was really interesting because that would be a cool visual to see. But I don't think it's going to explode. I think they're just going to pull the capsule away, and the Super Dracos are probably going to do a number on the first stage and the interstage there. First stage, probably first stage, second stage, interstage, the whole kit and caboodle. Let's see. They're going to really stress it. Yep, that was it. Yeah, all right. 400 pounds of snacks and beer. That's a lot of snacks and beer for 400 pounds. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up there. All right. I think that's it. I've said it 10 times now. We're really going to wrap this up here now. I'm going to see what we can do for a stream maybe tomorrow, and see if we can do some sort of stream maybe for the docking. It sounds promising. I'm leaning towards doing it, but we'll see. I'll put something out on Twitter tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. So if you won something, make sure you send me your direct message. Don't forget about that. And we're going to wrap things up here for now and head out for the night, get some sleep, and we'll be back sometime. Probably tomorrow. We'll probably be back tomorrow. You guys talked me into it. So we'll probably come back tomorrow, and we'll see what the docking looks like. Maybe just chat it up a little bit, look at some photos, check the rumor mill, see what's new. And worst case scenario, if it's not exciting, maybe we'll play some Kerbal. We might do that anyways. Well, even if it is exciting. Okay, when will the Dragon be docking? So Dragon docking occurs tomorrow morning, almost exactly 24 hours from now. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. is the docking, and I think their live stream starts at like 3:30 a.m. That's Eastern time. So almost 24 hours from now. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate you hanging out, joining the stream. Like the video, subscribe, throw some hearts over on Periscope. Join us some point. We'll be back again. But I'm going to go hit the sack, get some sleep. I'm tired. Going to bed. And we'll hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Well, that's it for me, everybody. Thanks again for joining. My name's Tori. This is Overlook Horizon. We had some fun today. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad everybody joined us. We'll catch you all on the next stream. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. See ya.